What if I told you that almost every dollar you've spent this month wasn't really your decision? What if I told you that billion-dollar companies have teams of psychologists, neuroscientists, and behavioral economists working around the clock to hack your brain and make you spend money you didn't plan to spend? The truth is, you're not making free choices when you shop. You're being guided, manipulated, and psychologically engineered to open your wallet. And the scariest part? You don't even realize it's happening. My name is Elena, and after years of falling for these tricks myself, I've learned to see through the manipulation. Today, I'm going to expose the exact tactics companies use to control your spending and show you how to fight back. If you want to stop being a puppet and start being in control of your money, subscribe and hit that like button. Here's something that will blow your mind. Have you ever walked into a store to buy one thing and walked out with 5? That wasn't an accident. Have you ever signed up for a free trial and forgotten to cancel it? That was designed. Have you ever felt like you're getting an amazing deal, only to realize later you spent more than you planned? That was engineered. The anchoring effect, making expensive look cheap. Here's how it works. You're looking at laptops online. The first one you see costs $2,500. You think, that's too expensive. Then you see another one for $100 or $200. Suddenly that one feels like a reasonable price, maybe even a bargain. But here's the trick. That $2,500 laptop was never meant to be sold. It was placed there specifically to make the $100 laptop seem cheaper. This is called anchoring. The first number you see becomes your reference point. Your anchor, everything else is judged relative to that number. Retailers know this. That's why the most expensive item is always displayed first. That's why restaurants put a $50 steak on the menu even though most people won't order it. It makes the $30 pasta seem reasonable. Real example, Apple does this masterfully. They announced the iPhone Pro Max at $200, then the regular iPhone at $800. Suddenly $800 doesn't feel expensive. It feels like you're saving $400. But you're not saving anything. You're spending $800 you might not have spent at all. The decoy effect. Forcing your choice. Picture this. You're buying a coffee. Small is $3, large is $5.50. Most people choose small because large seems overpriced. But then they add a medium for $5. Now what happens? Suddenly most people buy the large. Why? Because medium is only 50 cents cheaper than large, making large look like the smart choice. The medium was never meant to sell. It's a decoy. It exists only to make the large look like better value. This trick is everywhere. Movie theater popcorn, streaming service tiers, software subscriptions. The middle option is designed to be bad value, pushing you toward the most expensive option. Real example, The Economist magazine famously tested this. They offered online-only subscription, $59, print-only subscription, $125, print and online, $125. Which would you choose? Most people chose print and online because print-only at the same price made no sense. But when they removed the print-only option, most people chose the cheapest option instead. That useless middle option increased revenue by 43%. The 9-ending trick. Why everything costs $19.99. You already know this one, right? Prices end in 99 instead of round numbers. You think you're immune to it? You're not. Studies using brain scans show that $19.99 activates different neural pathways than $20. Your brain literally processes them as different categories of expense. It gets worse. That 1 cent difference can increase sales by 24%. Even when people know about the trick, it still works. Your logical brain knows $19.99 is basically $20, but your emotional brain, the one that makes purchasing decisions, sees it as in the teens. Real example. In one experiment, identical dresses were priced at $34, $39, and $44. The $39 dress outsold both others combined. Not because it was better positioned or better quality, but because the number 9 triggers a perception of value and discount, even when there is no discount. The subscription trap, the money you forget you're spending. Here's the most insidious trick of all. Companies have figured out that the easiest way to get your money isn't to convince you to make a big purchase. It's to get you to make tiny recurring purchases that you forget about. Think about it. How many subscriptions do you have right now? Netflix, Spotify, gym membership, cloud storage, gaming services, meal kit delivery, beauty boxes, app subscriptions. The average person has 12 subscriptions and forgets about at least 4 of them. That's $20, $30 per month, $240, $360 per year on services you don't use. But here's why companies love subscriptions. Because canceling requires action. Humans are lazy. We have inertia. We procrastinate. Companies know this. That's why canceling is always harder than signing up. That's why they require you to call instead of clicking a button. That's why they offer you discounts when you try to cancel. They know most people will take the discount instead of fully canceling. Real example? Adobe moved to a subscription model for Photoshop. Before, you'd pay $700 once. Now it's $55 a month. Sounds cheaper, right? Wrong. After 13 months, you've paid more than the original price. After 5 years, a reasonable lifespan for software, you've paid $3,300 and you own nothing. Stop paying and it stops working. The free trial scam. Nothing is free. Start your free trial, no credit card required. Sounds great, right? Wrong. This is a psychological trap with multiple layers. Layer 1, they get you using the service. You integrate it into your routine. You build dependency. Layer 2, when the trial ends, canceling requires action. Most people don't take that action. They think, I'll cancel before I'm charged, but then forget. Companies count on this. One study found that 42% of people forget to cancel free trials. Layer 3, even if credit card isn't required up front, they ask for it just to verify your identity or to unlock all features. Once they have it, you're one step closer to being charged. Real example, Amazon Prime's free trial converts at an incredibly high rate. Not because people love Prime so much, but because the friction to cancel is high and the reminder that trial is ending is minimal. They email you after you've been charged, not before. The urgency tactic, false scarcity and time pressure. Only 2 left in stock. Sale ends in 3 hours. 5 other people are looking at this right now. These messages trigger panic in your brain. They activate your fear of missing out. They shut down your logical thinking and activate your emotional, impulsive brain. Here's the truth. In most cases, this urgency is fake. That only 2 left might be only 2 left at that specific warehouse, while 10,000 more exist elsewhere. That countdown timer, it resets for every visitor. Those 5 other people, randomly generated number or people who clicked once and left. Real example. Booking.com is masterful at this. 23 people are looking at this hotel. Booked 3 times in the last hour. Only 1 room left at this price. Studies show these messages increase conversions by 15 to 20%. But if you refresh the page or check back tomorrow, magically there are still rooms available at similar prices. The loss aversion trick? You hate losing more than you love winning. Behavioral economists discovered something powerful. Humans feel the pain of losing something twice as strongly as the pleasure of gaining something. Companies weaponize this. Don't miss out. Last chance. You'll lose your discount. These phrases trigger loss aversion. You're not buying because you want the item. You're buying because you don't want to lose the opportunity. Loyalty programs exploit this perfectly. Those points you're accumulating, they make you feel like you'll lose something if you shop elsewhere. You're not gaining rewards. You're avoiding the loss of rewards you've earned. Airlines are experts at this. You'll take an inconvenient flight on your airline just to keep your status, even when a competitor's flight is cheaper and better. Real example. Sephora's VIB Rouge status requires $1,000 annual spend. People spend hundreds more than they planned in December just to maintain their status. Not because the benefits are worth it, but because losing the status feels like a loss, even though they never owned anything. The bundle. Illusion. Paying more while feeling smart. Buy 2, get 1 free. Sounds like a deal, right? But did you need 3? Were you planning to buy even 2? Companies know that bundles increase total spending, even while customers feel they're saving money. The psychology is simple. You calculate savings based on the inflated, regular price they show you, not based on what you were actually planning to spend. You buy 3 items for $20 and feel like you saved $10, ignoring the fact that you only needed 1 item and spent $13 more than necessary. Real example, McDonald's creates bundles that cost barely less than buying items separately, but feel like deals. A medium Big Mac meal might cost $8, while buying items separately costs $8.50. You're saving 50 cents, but you just bought fries and a drink you didn't want, spending $5 more than if you just bought the burger. The premium pricing psychology. More expensive, unto quiere, better. Here's a weird one. Sometimes increasing price increases sales. Why? Because humans associate price with quality. We assume expensive, kungkorn, good, cheap, kunkas, bad. Companies exploit this mercilessly. Wine studies prove this. Researchers gave people the exact same wine, but told different groups it cost different amounts. People who thought it was expensive rated it as tasting significantly better. Brain scans showed their pleasure centers literally lit up more. The wine didn't change, their perception did. The coupon manipulation. You didn't save money. Save 40%. Use code SAVE20. Coupons feel like winning. Finding a discount code feels like you've beaten the system. You haven't. The price was inflated specifically so it could be discounted to the price they wanted to charge all along. JCPenney learned this the hard way. In 2012, they eliminated fake sales and coupons, charging honest everyday low prices instead. Revenue dropped 25%. Customers stayed away. Why? Because people don't want fair prices. They want to feel like they're getting a deal. JCPenney had to bring back fake sales to survive. The default option, the choice they make for you. Companies know that most people don't change default settings, so they set defaults that benefit them, not you. Subscription automatically renews. That's a default. Shipping speed set to fastest, expensive option, default. Email preferences set to send me everything, default. Extra insurance added to your purchase, pre-check default. One study found that changing organ donation from opt-in to opt-out increased donation rates from 15% to 90%. Same choice, different default. Companies use this same psychology for profit. The social proof weapon. Everyone else is doing it. Bestseller, most popular, 10,000 5-star reviews. These aren't just information, they're manipulation. Humans are social creatures. We look to others to decide what's valuable. Companies fake this social proof constantly. Amazon's verified purchase badge exists because so many reviews are fake. Influencer marketing works because we trust recommendations from people we relate to, even when those recommendations are paid advertisements. As seen on TV works because if it's on TV, it must be legitimate. The payment method trick. Credit cards make you spend more. Studies consistently show that people spend 12-18% more when using credit cards versus cash. Why? Because credit cards are abstract. Handing over physical cash creates psychological pain. Swiping a card doesn't. Companies know this. That's why they encourage card use, offer points and rewards, and make contactless payments so easy. They're literally removing the psychological barrier that would make you spend less. Casinos figured this out decades ago. That's why they use chips instead of cash. How to fight back. Practical defense strategies. Now that you see the manipulation, here's how to protect yourself. Strategy 1. The 48-hour rule. Never make non-essential purchases immediately. Wait 48 hours. Add items to cart but don't check out. If you still want it in 2 days, buy it. 70% of the time, you'll forget or realize you don't need it. Strategy 2. Block the manipulators. Unsubscribe from marketing emails. All of them. Use browser extensions that hide countdown timers and only X left messages. Remove your credit card from stored payment methods. Make yourself type it in every time. Strategy 3. Calculate true cost. For subscriptions, calculate annual cost. 10 months sounds small. 100 to 20 years sounds significant. For deals, calculate cost per use. Those $200 shoes on sale for $100? If you wear them 10 times, that's $10 per wear. Still worth it? Strategy 4. Audit your subscriptions. Right now, today, list every subscription you have. Check your bank statements. You've forgotten some. Cancel everything you don't actively use. Not might use someday, actually use. If you need it again, you can resubscribe. Strategy 5. Recognize emotional triggers. Notice when you're about to buy something, what emotion are you feeling? Bored? Stressed? Comparing yourself to others? If you're buying to manage an emotion, you're being manipulated. Address the emotion differently. Strategy 6. Use the one-in, one-out rule. Before buying anything, commit to removing something similar you already own. Want new shoes? Which shoes will you donate? This creates natural resistance to accumulation and makes you value what you have. Strategy 7. Calculate hourly value. Take your after-tax hourly wage. That $60 item costs you X hours of your life working. Is it worth that many hours? This reframes purchases from money. Abstract to time. Concrete. The truth is, you're in a war for your attention and your money. Companies spend billions studying human psychology to separate you from your cash. They have data scientists, behavioral economists, and neuroscientists working to hack your brain. But now you have the knowledge to fight back. Every time you see a countdown timer, you'll recognize the urgency manipulation. Every time you see a middle option, you'll spot the decoy. Every time you're offered a free trial, you'll see the trap. This isn't about never spending money. It's about spending money on your terms, not theirs. It's about conscious choices instead of manipulated reactions. It's about keeping your hard-earned money instead of handing it over to psychological tricks. Remember, companies don't care about your financial well-being. Their job is to maximize profit, and they're very, very good at it. Your job is to protect yourself, and now you know how. Ready to take control? Start with one thing today. Audit your subscriptions. Unsubscribe from marketing emails. Implement the 48-hour rule. Just one change will save you hundreds this year. Drop a comment telling me which manipulation tactic you've fallen for most often and which strategy you're implementing first. Let's hold each other accountable. And if this opened your eyes, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. The more people who understand these tactics, the less power companies have over us. See you in the next video, where I'll expose the specific psychological tricks used by social media platforms to keep you scrolling and buying for hours every day.